Have you ever caught your reflection and thought, why does my hair look so flat, even after I just styled it? You're not alone. I recently received a message from one of our viewers, Linda, who said, I've spent years trying every volumizing shampoo, teasing comb, and root spray imaginable, but nothing makes my thin hair look the way it used to. That moment struck me because Linda's frustration isn't rare. It's universal. Here's the truth. You're not styling your thin hair wrong. You're using techniques made for hair that no longer behaves the same. Our hair changes as we age. It becomes finer, lighter, and often loses some of its natural density. Yet, most of us keep styling it the same way we did 20 years ago. The result? Heavy layers that drag it down, harsh color contrast that exposes the scalp, and products that promise volume but only add stiffness. But what if I told you that you can transform your hair? Not by adding more, but by doing less and by doing it smarter. Today we're breaking down 4 simple, realistic steps to make thin hair look fuller, softer, and beautifully effortless. No salon miracles. No overwhelming routines. Just timeless techniques that let your natural beauty shine through. At any age. Because confidence doesn't come from thick hair. It comes from knowing what works for you now. Let's start with step 1, the foundation of every great look. The right haircut. Before you even reach for a styling product or blow dryer, your haircut sets the entire stage for how your thin hair looks and behaves. The right cut can make your hair appear twice as full, while the wrong one can flatten your look no matter how many volumizing sprays you use. So what works best for fine or thinning hair? Think light, movement, and shape. Heavy layers, blunt edges, or long one-length cuts tend to pull your hair down, literally. They weigh it against your scalp and highlight thin areas around your crown or temples. Instead, what you want is strategic layering. Soft, airy layers that build volume and dimension from within. One of the most universally flattering styles is a soft layered bob that ends just below the chin, or at the collarbone. It creates lift at the crown and brings fullness around the face, especially when paired with subtle face-framing pieces. If you prefer longer hair, add invisible layers or internal texturing. This keeps the ends looking healthy and bouncy without that stringy effect. And don't overlook your parting and fringe. A deep side part adds instant lift to one side and visually thickens the top. Soft bangs, especially wispy or curtain style, can disguise thinning at the hairline while drawing attention to your eyes instead of your scalp. When you sit in your stylist chair, communicate with confidence. Tell them you want soft movement, light layering, and volume around the crown. Not lots of layers or a dramatic chop. The goal is effortless fullness, not a style that looks forced or overdone. Because here's the secret. Confidence doesn't come from pretending your hair is something it's not. It comes from choosing a shape that celebrates what your hair naturally does and makes it look like the best version of itself. Once your cut is right, everything else, color, texture, styling, will fall perfectly into place. Now that your foundation is set, let's talk about color. The magic trick that can make thin hair appear instantly thicker and more vibrant. Color is one of the most underrated secrets for making thin hair look fuller and more dimensional. The right shade and placement can create the illusion of density, while the wrong one can make even the healthiest hair look flat and tired. Think of your hair color as paint on a canvas. Too much of one tone and it looks lifeless. The right blend of lights and shadows, and suddenly there's movement, texture, and depth. Let's start with what to avoid. A single flat color, especially jet black, very light platinum, or overly cool tones, tends to emphasize the scalp and reveal thin patches under bright light. The lack of contrast makes fine strands blend together, and your hair loses that natural bounce effect. Instead, what you want is soft dimension. A mix of highlights and lowlights that mimic the way natural sunlight plays through your hair. One of the most youthful and flattering options for mature women is rooted color with blended highlights. Think honey, golden beige, or soft caramel tones melting into a slightly deeper root. This trick creates visual depth, which tricks the eye into seeing more hair than there actually is. Balayage or hand-painted highlights are ideal because they're low maintenance. No harsh lines, no frequent touch-ups. Just a graceful fade that moves beautifully as you do. If your hair is silver or transitioning to gray, don't fight it. Enhance it. Adding a cool pearl gloss or soft smoky lowlights can bring out shine and sophistication, while preventing that dull, yellowed look that sometimes appears with age. The goal is healthy luminosity, not a uniform wall of color. And here's an expert tip. Avoid overly dark roots against very light ends. That contrast might look trendy on younger hair, but it can create a thinning shadow effect on mature hairlines. Instead, ask your colorist for diffused depth, a seamless gradient that brightens your face and thickens your silhouette. When your color captures light instead of reflecting harshness, your hair instantly looks more alive, fuller, softer, and more flattering. Next, let's talk about texture and styling, because the way you shape and treat your strands day to day can either enhance that fullness or undo it completely. Once your haircut and color are working in harmony, the next step is mastering how you style your hair, because even the best cut can fall flat without the right touch. Fine hair loves movement, but it hates weight. The key is creating airy lift and body without piling on heavy mousses or sticky sprays that make your strands collapse halfway through the day. Start right at the roots, literally. When you blow dry, flip your head upside down or use a round brush to lift sections away from your scalp. Always dry your roots in the opposite direction of how they naturally fall. This gives instant volume without teasing or damage. If you prefer a more polished look, finish with a large round brush, wrapping hair loosely to add gentle bend and bounce at the ends, not tight curls. Now let's talk products. Volumizing shampoos and mousses can be great if they're lightweight and alcohol-free. Look for words like air, lift, or texture on the label, and avoid anything that says smoothing or anti-frizz, which often contain silicones that weigh fine hair down. A dry texture spray or root-lifting mist can be your best friend for that soft, touchable fullness that lasts all day. And here's a secret that stylists swear by. Don't aim for perfection. Overstyled hair can make thin strands look stiff and lifeless. A bit of natural movement, a gentle bend here, a tousled wave there, gives the impression of more volume. You can even lightly twist sections of damp hair. Let them air dry halfway. Then finish with a cool blow dry for easy, youthful texture. Tools matter too. Swap your heavy metal brush for a vented ceramic one, and use medium heat too hot, and you risk weakening already delicate strands. Finally, remember that less is more. The best volume comes not from forcing your hair to behave, but from coaxing it into its most flattering shape. It's about flow, not fight. When your hair moves freely and frames your face with softness, it doesn't just look fuller. It feels alive. And that natural, effortless movement speaks volumes about confidence. Next, let's move into step 4. The finishing touches and daily habits that keep your thin hair strong, shiny, and full of life. Here's the truth that no one tells you. Beautiful, full-looking hair doesn't come from one dramatic salon visit. It comes from consistent care. Thin or aging hair needs tenderness, not tension. The way you brush, wash, and even sleep affects how your strands hold up day after day. Once you have the right cut, color, and style, these finishing touches are what keep everything looking effortless. Let's start with your washing routine. Washing too often can strip your scalp's natural oils, leaving hair dry and fragile. But skipping too many washes can cause buildup that weighs it down. Aim for balance. Every 2 to 3 days is ideal for most fine hair types. Use a lightweight, sulfate-free shampoo and a volumizing conditioner, applying conditioner mainly to the mid-lengths and ends, not the scalp. This keeps your roots light while still nourishing your strands. After washing, avoid rough towel drying. Instead, gently squeeze out the water with a soft microfiber towel, or even a cotton t-shirt. This small switch prevents breakage and frizz, two major enemies of fine hair. Now let's talk tools and protection. Always apply a heat protectant before blow drying or curling. Heat damage makes thin hair appear frayed and wiry, which immediately takes away from that youthful softness. And don't underestimate the power of a good trim every 6 to 8 weeks. It keeps your ends crisp, removes splitting, and maintains the structure that gives your cut volume. When it comes to finishing products, go light-handed. A few drops of shine serum, just on the ends, or a mist of dry texturizing spray, can make your hair gleam and move naturally. Avoid heavy oils and waxes. They may look sleek at first, but by midday your style will start to collapse. Lastly, think about how you sleep. Swap your cotton pillowcase for a silk or satin one. It reduces friction, helps retain moisture, and minimizes breakage overnight. Your hair will thank you in the morning with less frizz and more bounce. Remember, your hair is a reflection of care, not control. Treat it with gentleness and rhythm, and it will respond with life, volume, and shine. When it comes down to it, this journey isn't really about hair. It's about how you feel when you look in the mirror. Thin hair, silver strands, or changing texture aren't signs of losing beauty. They're simply signs of living fully. The truth is, confidence doesn't come from chasing youth. It comes from embracing who you are right now and choosing to look radiant on your own terms. Think about it. Every soft wave, every streak of silver, every gentle highlight tells a story, your story. The years you've laughed, loved, learned, and reinvented yourself. And that's the kind of beauty that no product or filter can replicate. The secret isn't to hide the changes, but to style them with purpose. When your haircut feels effortless, your color glows naturally, and your style moves freely, you project something magnetic. Peace, assurance, elegance. That's why I always say, beauty after 60 isn't about transformation, it's about translation. Translating your wisdom and self-knowledge into how you show up every day. Because when you wear your hair with intention, you're really saying, I value myself enough to show the world my best. And that message radiates more youthfulness than any trend or thickening serum ever could. So the next time you pick up a brush or sit in that salon chair, remember, this is your canvas. You don't need to fight against time. You just need to flow with it gracefully. You've earned the right to look effortless. You've earned the right to shine in simplicity. Whether your hair is short or shoulder length, silver or caramel, straight or softly curled, it's all part of the same masterpiece. And the best part? You're still the artist. So wear your confidence like your favorite accessory. Let your hair move, let it breathe, and most importantly, let you shine through it. Because true elegance isn't about having perfect hair. It's about carrying yourself like the masterpiece you already are.